Hello and welcome to the second upload today. Yes, it's double upload day with a quick turnaround between fixtures and the deadline fast approaching. About 10 hours away from time of recording. So we're going to take a look at my team selection, transfers and captaincy for game week 15. I come into the game week with one free transfer, currently sitting just outside the top 88k, and I am looking to make a defensive transfer by upgrading Guehi to reduce my exposure to the double Palace defense and invest some of that money that I have saved from downgrading Watkins to Isaac. But before we get started, if you're not already a subscriber to this channel, consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. And if you enjoy the following content, make sure to give it a thumbs up. So, my team heading into game week 15 is Johnston and net at home to Bournemouth. Guehi, who is the transfer that I will be making out this week. The reasons for that is Bournemouth have been attacking very fluently. Crystal Palace haven't really kept too many clean sheets of late and have been left a little bit wanting in defence. I mean, if you have a look at these expected goals conceded stats, 1.26 against West Ham, 0.83 against Luton, 1.6 against Everton, 1.12 against Burnley. I mean, 1.12 against Spurs is not too bad. 2.39 against Newcastle. I mean, always over one goal. Bournemouth have been attacking quite fluently, so we are looking to get rid. I've got Trippier and Lascelles both away to Everton. Across the middle of the park, we have Saka with a great fixture away to Luton. Mbumo with a pretty decent attacking fixture away to Brighton. Palmer, who fingers crossed will start this fixture away to Manchester United. Son at home to West Ham. Salah with the bus captaincy on him at the moment. We'll discuss captaincy in this video. Away to Sheffield United. Isaac, my new man, coming in for game week 14 away to Everton, and Haaland currently with a vice captaincy away to Aston Villa. The bench is definitely struggling this week. Turner is not playing. Baldock is flagged but is home to Liverpool anyway. Kabore is definitely playing but is home to Arsenal, and Woodrow is a dead bench member in my squad. So that is how the team is sitting right now. So thankfully, I have no injuries to deal with. The only real slight worry in the team is Palmer with his surprise benching in game week 14. So as I mentioned in the key assets video a little earlier in the week, something doesn't quite add up with the comments that Pochettino made about Palmer and the fact that he felt something in training and they didn't want to risk him for the match, yet he still managed to come onto the pitch for the last 25 minutes of the game. So if you're interested in those pointers there, go and check out the key assets videos. I won't go into it here, but I will be playing Palmer. I have absolutely no plans to sell him or bench him. We're just basically crossing our fingers and hoping he starts this match, because Manchester United is a great game for Chelsea. United have not been performing well of late. They're resorting to playing a long ball type game, and I think Chelsea are set to beat us by probably 2 or 3 goals in this match, and I am hoping that Palmer can get amongst it. And so I am looking, if you have been following the channel for a little while, I had tagged both Guehi and Johnston as future issues in my squad, A, because of the performances, but B, also because the fixtures are about to turn for them. Bournemouth at home looks like a good game on paper, but Bournemouth have been attacking very well of late, and they will throw everything that they have got at Crystal Palace, and I am almost certain Palace are going to concede in this game. So I do not want to be doubled up on their defence for this fixture. And then they run into two extremely tough games. 16 is at home to Liverpool with a quick turnaround from Thursday to Sunday, only 2 days rest in between. And then they've got Man City away in game week 17. I can see 3 goals going in each of these fixtures, probably even more, depending on whether or not Liverpool and Man City decide to absolutely go for the jugular. Then face Brighton at home, Chelsea away, Brentford at home, and Arsenal away right up until game week 21. I mean, these are horrific defensive fixtures for Palace, and so I am looking to get rid of both Guehi and Johnston in the next 2 transfers that I make. So I am going to be focusing on Guehi in this fixture, as Johnston I will probably look to sell next week. I don't too often make a goalkeeper transfer, but with that run of fixtures, I just do not see any clean sheets, and probably just a whole bunch of 1-pointers or 0-pointers for Johnston over the foreseeable. However, I think out of the 2 this week, Johnston should pick up some save points in this game. Maybe they do sneak a clean sheet and he ends up with all of the bonus points. So Guehi probably less likely to get in and amongst the bonus in this match, which is why I am prioritizing him out. So there's really only 3 top candidates for replacements for Guehi. So I currently have 1.0 million in the bank, as I did downgrade Watkins to Isak. Managed to bring Isak in before his price rise. So I have 1 million to play with. And the top candidates that I am considering is, first of all, Thiago Silva from Chelsea. And the reason that I am looking at Thiago Silva is he is about as nailed on as it gets in that Chelsea defence, and their run of fixtures upcoming. If I just bring up my fixture ticker. Starting as of game week 15. They are currently, we don't want that, probably down to about the next 6 game weeks or so. They are top of the fixture ticker for the next 6 game weeks. So Manchester United away this week is an okay defensive fixture. Manchester United have not been attacking very well at all for a while. And so I could see Chelsea keeping a clean sheet here, but then the next run of fixtures is sublime. They're away to Everton in 16, home to Sheffield United, away to Wolves, at home to Palace, away to Luton, and then at home to Fulham right out until game week 21. I mean, that is an insane run of defensive fixtures. However, I think I might end up covering the Chelsea defence with Sanchez in net next week for Johnston. Now, if any of you out there are looking to make a goalkeeper transfer anytime soon, you should, top of the goalkeeper list right now has to be the backup to Nick Pope. Nick Pope, if you are not aware, dislocated his shoulder in the fixture at the weekend, and Dubravka is now going to be starting for about the next, I think it was 4 to 5 months, so that they've actually put down here. Okay, well, it's still got a 25% chance of playing in game, but he is looking like he is going to be out for months upon months. And so Dubravka, who was down at 3.9 million, has already risen to 4.0 million. As I mentioned in my earlier video this week, the price changes with the quick turnarounds will be ruthless, so you do have to get onto these moves as quickly as you can. But Dubravka at 4.0 million is definitely nailed. And if you were looking at, say, someone like Lascelles and you were worried about Botman coming back, I would probably just switch to Dubravka in goal instead of going for someone like Lascelles, because you will probably have to deal with Lascelles well before you will end up having to deal with Dubravka. He could just be a set and forget 4 million keeper. However, I am currently tripled up on Newcastle, and so he is not in my thoughts. If I wasn't tripled up on Newcastle, I would probably be going Johnston straight down to Dubravka and just be done with it. But I did bring both Trippier and Isak in last week. So I am probably looking to cover transfer out Johnston next week for maybe someone like Sanchez to jump on that crazy run of defensive fixtures for Chelsea. And so I'm probably not going to double up on the Chelsea defense by bringing in Thiago Silva for Guehi this week. So second on my list of the top 3 candidates for Guehi replacements is Pedro Porro. Now, Spurs do have, well, the next 2 games are pretty tough from a defensive point of view. West Ham at home. West Ham are attacking pretty well. Their defence isn't amazing at the moment. They do seem to be conceding quite a lot of goals, and so they are chucking quite a lot of attack forward in these matches. And I suspect that they will continue to do so. And with the depleted backline at Spurs, with Van der Ven out for quite a while, and also Perisic also red flagged, expected back sometime in January. They are having to play, I think it was Emerson Royale and Ben Davies were playing centre backs in place of Van der Ven and the suspended Romero. Now, Romero is back from his 3-match suspension and will be available for this fixture, so he will be coming back into the starting lineup almost certainly. But the reason that I am looking at Pedro Porro is that even though he has 2 tough fixtures coming up, West Ham this week and then followed up by Newcastle at home, who have been an incredibly fluent attack for some weeks now, and I'm almost certain that Spurs will concede in this game, maybe even a couple of goals in this game, based on the way that we saw how Spurs did attack against Man City at the weekend just gone. But then they have a pretty good run of defensive fixtures following that. Gameweek 17, Forest away, Everton at home, Brighton away, Bournemouth at home, United away, still a great defensive fixture. Brentford at home, they will be without Wissa and Mbumo by this point, as they will both be off to AFCON. Everton away, Brighton at home, Wolves at home. I mean, right up until game week 25 from game week 17 is an incredible run of games for Spurs from a defensive point of view. And Porro has picked up all of the set pieces that Maddison has left vacant with his injury. And so he is very high up the pecking order. And if it was game week 17 right now, I would probably be looking to bring Porro straight into the squad. However, I am still tossing up between him and my current front runner, which is in fact Saliba. If you have been following the channel for a little while, this will come as no surprise to you. I was looking to bring him in a couple of weeks ago, but I kind of skirted the issue, delayed by a week in order to bring in Trippier last week, which actually ended up paying me back quite handsomely, as Trippier came away with a 12-pointer and Arsenal conceded in the match against Wolves, Saliba earning his first yellow card of the season and only picked up 1 point. So I think that play has worked out already. But Arsenal were incredibly unlucky to concede in this game. Now, this 0.71 expected goals conceded seems to be incredibly misleading. I don't quite know how that was so high, given watching that game. I did not at all feel like Wolves were going to score at all in that game. They were just very lucky to pick up that solo goal and wreck the clean sheet. But Saliba does have Luton away this week, which is probably as close to a banker clean sheet as you could probably imagine. And Arsenal's defence has been resolute for some time now. They've been putting up an incredible defensive performances. So Luton away this week. Aston Villa away in game week 16 will be a little bit tricky, but I have confidence that Arsenal should be able to shut Villa out in this match, as I think Arsenal will be able to control this game quite well. Brighton at home in game week 17 should be a clean sheet, and so I'm probably expecting 2 clean sheets in the next 3, maybe even a clean sweep of clean sheets of 3 from 3 in the next 3 fixtures before they have a tricky game away to Liverpool in game week 18, and then they've got another good run of 4 fixtures from a defensive point of view. Now, that West Ham game, I did note that was not a great defensive fixture from Spurs. That's kind of based on the way that Spurs play football. But for the Arsenal team, I think they just seem to have, they're a bit more controlled in their attack, whereas Spurs are just all-out attack all the time, fast pace, and end-to-end football. They can get caught on the counter a little bit more easily, whereas Arsenal, I think, will have a better shot at shutting someone like West Ham out. Game week 20, they're away to Fulham, 21 at home to Palace, and 22 away to Nottingham Forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so across the next 8 game weeks, their only very hard game from a defensive point of view is that game in game week 18 away to Liverpool. And with the investment sitting out there in the Arsenal defence at the moment and how well they are defending, these are the reasons why Saliba is kind of the front runner for me at the moment. A bit of a shield, as you will, in terms of a move to bring him in this week. So I'm almost certain that I'm going to do that move, given that it's a double upload day and I've been more focusing on getting these videos written and out to you guys. I haven't done all my thinking, and so I'm not going to make the transfer just this moment, as I do want just a little bit more time to think about it. But it will either be Saliba or Porro coming in for Guehi going out. That will definitely be one of my 2 transfers, and I think it will almost certainly be Saliba that is currently coming in. So captaincy is, there's probably 4 viable captaincy candidates this week. The 2 front runners would be Haaland and Salah. Obviously, 2 premium assets with 2 very good fixtures on paper. I could even make a pretty good case for going with Son or Saka as 2 alternative or differential captains. Saka away to Luton. Arsenal should be able to score quite a few games in this Luton fixture, and Spurs have just been showing that they can just score against anyone, and with West Ham's inability to keep clean sheets for quite some time, I'm sure Son will probably thrive in this match. But given that the top 2 front-running candidates have such good fixtures, I don't think it's worthwhile gambling on a differential captain this week, and so my captaincy and vice captaincy will go to one of Salah and Haaland. So this is almost a carbon copy of last week's decision, where Salah clearly has the easier game on paper, but Haaland is coming up against an opponent who could easily ship a lot of goals, as Villa have been known to play a higher line against tougher opposition. However, this week I am backing Salah once again, as Sheffield United are probably one of the highest upside games that are available. So if we just bring up Sheffield United's results across the season, they got absolutely pumped by Newcastle in game week 6, 8-0. When they came up against another top team in the league of Arsenal, they were pumped 5-0. And then just last week, they came up against Burnley, who are not a top side, and conceded 5 goals yet again. Sheffield United are shipping goals like crazy. Now, that Burnley fixture, I think there was a red card to their striker, the Sheffield United striker, in the game. And so they were playing for part of this match with only 10 men. But when they've come up against really tough opposition, they have just been shipping goals. I mean, they did actually only manage to keep Man City down to conceding 2 and Tottenham to only conceding 2, but it was still an easy 2 goals going in there. Bournemouth shipped 3 past them. I mean, Sheffield United just looked like one of the whipping boys to target. And with Salah getting the extra point for every goal, 5 points compared to Haaland's 4, he doesn't need as many returns to outscore Haaland. And I could see Liverpool putting at least 3 to 4 goals past Sheffield United this week, probably quite comfortably. Probably 3-0 or 4-0 is what we're looking at for a result this weekend. But it really could go as high as 8. I mean, if Liverpool just go for the jugular, they could even get probably up to 10 goals in this fixture. And that is the style of play, style of manager that I am. I am more of an upside chaser. If I keep gambling on those players, which I think have a much higher ceiling, I think over a long run of games it averages out and should pay me back a lot more handsomely in the long run. And so that is it for this video. So if you enjoyed this video and got something out of it, press the like button and consider subscribing. And if not, that's all good too. I appreciate you watching. And until next time, cheers.